All right, now we're back. Sorry about the wait. I had a little bit of technical difficulty. I used my Mister to do a lot of this stuff now, and jump between Game Boy and Game Boy Color on a Mister is a challenge still for me. So yeah, before we start, this game does contain some offensive stuff. You're not going to be it's not going to be thrown into your face. There's no nothing like that. It's similar to if you remember Dedius, it's in the similar grounds to that, where there's like pixel blood and stuff like that. So this is another homebrew. This game is loud, I forgot. So this is another homebrew that came out in, I believe, 2021. So there's your offensive graphics right there to start. This game is called Pine Creek, and the gist of the story is a little girl has gone missing, and her friends need to go and try and find her. With that, let's start. So again, here's some more offensive imagery for those that are offended by imagery. Yeah, I know. Yeah, this game is a little loud. I try to turn it down a bit. This game is tough to volume. Here's some more offensive imagery. Welcome to late night RGL. Welcome to the stuff that I play in speedrun now. I go from Kirby's Dream Land to blood and satanic ritual video games. So here we have a bunch of dialogue we need to go through. This is an adventure dialogue heavy run, where none of the dialogue actually matters at all. Any choice that you make throughout the entire game doesn't make any difference in the game at all. So you play as a person named, I believe his name is Ado, and you're just starting summer vacation, and because school is out for the summer. And you have three other friends, Judith, Karen, and Cassidy. We get to learn who each person is here. Karen is your emo person that loves to read books, and she tells the priest here that I believe she says God is dead and walks away from him. Yeah, God is dead and just walks away. Adzo, that's what her name is, Adzo. And then Cassidy actually works in a Photoshop or like a photo development place. The person in the green hat, his name is Ryan. He's probably the best character in the game, but unfortunately we don't get to interact with him hardly at all. So Cassie's telling Ryan to put coins on the railroad tracks for the train to pass through and smash them. We used to do that as kids back in the 90s. Is it still loud for y'all? I'm trying to turn it down. Alright, how's that? Is that a little bit better? Alright, and then Judith. So Judith is the main point of this entire story. Judith is seen as an easygoing person, and she's best friends with Adzo, and basically saying lucky to have her around. Gretchen will play a role in our playthrough as well too. Gretchen's a lovely old lady. Alright. So yeah, we have to write an essay throughout the summer. And in true horror fashion, everything is set by days. I'll lower it a bit more. I'll lower it a tad bit more. There you go. All right. So we have the cat. So the biggest thing that we really care about at all is the notebook. The notebook is the most precious thing in this game. Without the notebook, we don't know what to do. We're trying to ready to get some nice tunes going in here. We can talk to our sister. You can see how the brotherly love is. Calls us a turd. We make fun of her. We go back and forth. So she tells us that we need to go to our girlfriend's place. Here we get to choose what we want to do. So, very Pokemon-esque looking game here. Into the cafe, we gotta talk to our mom. She tells us that we're a lazy bum for waking up so late during our summer vacation, how that we need to get a summer job, and that when she was your age, she had 14 jobs, walked up hills both ways, etc., etc. Your parents own this cafe, and that's how they're making ends meet. So we're not gonna talk to Dad. We will pet the dog. All right. Now we're gonna go to Judith's house. As we approach Judith's house, there are some police officers here that are stopping our way from passing. So something happened at Judith's house, and we need to get to the we need to get inside to figure out what happened at Judith's house, because we can't let things be as a child. We have to investigate. So yeah. So Adzo knows the way into Judith's house from the backyard. But before we go do that, we should go talk to the little old lady here. Here's Gretchen. So Gretchen's a nice old lady, but you notice that she doesn't have a dog anymore. Her dog died yesterday, so now she's lonely, and all she wants right now are cannolis from the city. So eventually we'll need to eventually when we go to the city to pursue Judith's captors, we'll grab some cannolis for Gretchen. Now she tells you how the dog died. If you want to know how the dog died, I'll let you play the game and read it. It's kind of gruesome. And this is the church. We'll spend time in there eventually. We'll do one more side objective here. So we can go into the arcade here. The guy behind the counter of the arcade will let us play the arcade unlimited amount if we go and give the person in the church this letter. But the catch is we can't open the letter and read it. We have to just give it to the person. If we give Stan the letter, if we read the letter and then give it to Stan, Stan gets very disappointed with us, and the arcade owner does not let us play any of the games in the arcade. He actually bans us from the arcade. We're not going with that. Enjoy Amazing Grace and Glory Game Boy music. Here where I give Stan the letter from George. And even though that Stan gives us a message to give back to George, for some reason in the game when you go back to George to give him the letter, George doesn't recognize that you give him a letter at all, and just says, you know, keep saying deliver the package to Stan. This will be the last time we talk to George. Alright, so now we can play all the arcade games that we want, but we're not gonna play any of them. None. So what we need to do now is go to the vending machine. Oh, there's a random vending machine in the middle of nowhere. What we need to do is get some coins. Now we're gonna talk to Jim, aka our dad, who we never call dad unless we need something. So we ask for a pizza, he gives us a sandwich. And tells us to get the heck out of Dodge. Alright. So this is Karen. So Karen's gonna talk to us about some poem that she read on the computer, and that we have to deliver a book back to her. That was the whole reason we needed to come back into the bookstore. Karen plays probably the second biggest role in this game, oddly enough. Alright, there's the book. Alright, so we deliver the book to Karen. Now we gotta go to the photo store and talk to Cass. And Cass is gonna, we borrowed a movie from Cass, and Cass is gonna talk to us about it. We watched My Dad as a Cat. And we thought it was just okay, so now Cass is going to, belittle us and berate us about how our taste in movies is awful, and that we just don't know what we're talking about. So here comes Ryan. Ryan's gonna ask for the adult XXX section, where Cass is telling him that they don't sell or rent out those types of movies. And Ryan is gonna be Ryan. Ryan's my favorite character of the entire game. Ryan eventually gets thrown in jail, which is pretty hilarious. So he calls us a sociopath because we can't sympathize with people. And then calls us a psycho from here on out. Alright, so now if we look at our thing here with go to Judah's house, that's the next thing that we need to do. But obviously we can't go to Judah's house because, well, it's blocked by police and this dog. And the dog is angry, but there must be a way to distract said dog. So, I've watched a lot of long plays and let's plays of this on YouTube just to see what people's reactions are. And a lot of people try to use like the dogs on the side of the road here, like this one, to try and move this dog here. But in reality, you just need to go to the vending machine and buy a cookie. And you give it to the dog. Now the dog is gonna go share it with the cat. We'll pet the dog because it's a good boy. Good girl. Alright. Now we'll go to Judah's house. So here's Judah's room. There's a satanic ritual in the middle of the room with some blood, candles, and a piece of finger, which we saw earlier at the start of the game. Now we're going to draw the symbol in our notebook. Investigate the room a bit more. We got a Bible, a PC. We can't step in the blood, so now we're gonna leave. Police is like, all right, we need to go back into the house, look at the crime scene, yada yada yada. We're like, all right, yeah, see ya, peace out. So now it's late in the day. Something that's really, really cool about this game is that it tells you when it's time to go to sleep, because there are no people out on the street anymore. So when there's no more people out in the town, that means you've completed all of your objectives and it's time to go to sleep to go on to the next stage, or the next day rather. There we go. Here's the news report of a missing 13-year-old girl. Talk about how kidnappers broke into her room, etc., etc. So the first thing we need to do here is ask Karen about Judith. So what we're going to do, we could talk to our sister, and our sister feels bad, and then we end up fighting again because we broke her camera, and then she gets really upset about it. So we're gonna go talk to Karen, and we're gonna show Karen this symbol here. So Karen immediately thinks we did something to her because we found out something yesterday. But we tell her that we stuck into Judith's room, and we found this drawn on the floor with a finger in the middle of it. Then she tells us, "Oh yes, I know something about this symbol. It's a pentacle. It's a pentacle. But she doesn't know much about the subject. But she knows someone that is very knowledgeable about the subject, and tells us to go talk to Simone at the Black Cat, which is in Apricot City." We're like, okay, well now we gotta go take the tram to Apricot City. But the only way to get to Apricot City is to get a train ticket. And the only way to get a train ticket is that you need money. And in order to get money, you need to get a summer job. So here, if you actually come into here day one, they tell you that the train is under maintenance and it's not running. But now that it's day 2 and we've progressed enough, we can get a rail ticket for $20. But we don't have $20 because we're a poor kid. We're a poor 13-year-old kid. So what does any 13-year-old child do when they need money? They go ask mom and dad. So Adzo calls dad this time because Adzo wants something. So Adzo's gonna ask for 20 bucks. And his dad's gonna be like, nah, go get a job. Just like every other dad in the world does. So the pizzeria is open now. The pizzeria is the worst place in the world. We're gonna try and get a job at the pizzeria. And then they do their little tune. Also, that tree in the corner becomes prominent later on in the run too. So they say that, hey, we need someone to deliver pizzas for us. Can you do it? We say, yep. And they give us a list of all the people that we need to go hang out with. All right. We have a list of clients now. This is probably one of the best scenes in the game, in my opinion. So we're gonna go all the way to the left here. We're gonna talk to this guy that's watching for mysterious lights that coming from an army base. And he's been out here all day with binoculars looking for these mysterious lights that just never seem to appear. And talk about UFOs, how aliens exist, and how aliens explain everything that's going wrong in the world. Then he gets his pizza. And then there goes all of the lights that he was looking for. Probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire game. And he's gonna go back and wait for those lights that he just missed. So now we get to go hang out with Ryan, my favorite character in the game. Ryan is in church. Ryan ordered pizza at church. Seems rather satanic. You haven't even seen the worst of it yet. You haven't even seen the worst of it yet. So Ryan orders pizza at church because that's how interested Ryan is. So Ryan pays us, and the priest sees it, or Reverend sees it, and then the Reverend's like, everyone gets a slice of pizza on Ryan because Ryan orders pizza at the church. Poor Ryan. Can't catch a break. Then our next pizza we need to deliver is at the police station. So that's I believe his name is Tim in the game. We call him Redneck Tim because he threatens to shoot you with a shotgun every time you talk to him. We gotta talk to this person right here. This person's a very interesting character in the game. Liz plays a huge role in the game, and this is the only time you talk to her. So Liz is part of the FBI, and that's taken on the case of looking for Judith. And happened to order pizza to get, it gets Adzo. And he wants you to come back the next day for questioning, but if you come back to the police station the next day, she's not there. So that's I don't know if that's an oversight or what it was, but this is the only time you directly talk to Liz in the entire game. And she plays, like I said, she plays a huge role in the actual story itself. That guy with the white hair is he's like, have you heard of this thing called the internet? And that he is trying to police the internet right now. So now that we've delivered all of the pizzas, we need to go back to the pizzeria and get paid. Talk to Romulus about payment. He says yippee-ki-yay, and then gives us $5. So we did 3 deliveries, get $5, and now Adzo is upset. He'll be furious, starts screaming at him, then they fire us, and we leave. Now we're like, well, we got $5. $5 is not $20, so we can't buy a pass. So what do you do when you're a kid and you still need money? You go talk to mom. If dad says no and the other plan didn't work, you go talk to mom. And you tell mom what happened. So mom is like, yeah, your dad's stressed because of bills and this and that, whatever. But, like, I'm your mom, so here's $15. Go buy yourself the bus pass. The consequences will never be the same. Even if you choose to be polite about it, you quit instead, and then you just walk out. You don't get fired, but it doesn't matter if you get fired or not. All right, so now we're gonna buy our rail ticket here. So something that's really cool again about this game is that every one of these NPCs have their own personality, and if you talk to them every day, they have a different conversation. There's a different conversation to be had every single day that you talk to the person. There's our little rail, our little bus going to Apricot City. This kid here talks about Game Boy, so you know, gotta talk to him. But everyone else talks about either their religion, or they talk about breaking the law. Here we get a free taco. But here's the definitely not Mario's. We're gonna get some cannolis. We're gonna get the cannolis for Gretchen, so she's no longer sad about her dog that got ran over by the train. We get them for free. This is definitely not Nintendo Electronics. Love Hotel is pretty funny. Love Hotel, the guy at the front counter tells you about random encounters that happen at the hotel. So here we are at the Black Cat, and now we have to go talk to Margaret to get into to see Simone. So as he's like, not Karen told me about Simone, yada yada yada. So we have to answer a few questions for Margaret, and this, if I remember what the answers were. Alright, remembered it. It's been a while. So to get those answers, in 4 of the corners of that room are bookshelves, and you have to read the books to figure out what the answers are to those questions. So here we go. We're in Simone's tent, or passion building, whatever you want to call it. And from here, we're going to ask Simone if she knows what this satanic circle means, and that we drew in our notebook. So she gets us tea or coffee, whichever we choose, but we never drink it. So we show her the symbol, and she's like, yep, it's Solomon's pentacle, 4th pentacle of the sun. But she's like, there's something weird with it. The drawing is correct, but the symbols inside of it are not. So then she goes, finds a book, and throws it onto the desk. But of course she doesn't put it on the table that I'm at. She's obviously going to put it on the table furthest away from me. So now I have to go all the way across the room to go look at a book. So this was a really fun part about the game the first time you do it. When you look at it, it gives you the symbols and what they mean, or what the letter adjacent to them is underneath of there. And what you need to do is that you need to compare the symbols to this, where you can see the same symbols on the inner part of that circle. And it spells pizzeria, by the way. Okay. So now that we deciphered the satanic circle and it spells out the pizzeria, we find out that the pizzeria is a evil place because they fired us. I don't know. Go back. Get in the seat, Azzo. Thank you. Alright, now we're going back to Pine Creek. That explains why they pay GM. They gotta spend all their money on the Satan stuff. Alright. So this couple up here in the top left corner, the girl with the blue hair and the old lady, very sad story. Eventually that old lady does not come back. There's a lot of sad side stories in this game. So we're gonna go to the pizzeria, and when we go back to the pizzeria, we're gonna be bullied. So they're looking at the tree right now, and then they see us walk in. And they tell each other not to look at me. It's just gonna bully me. But we're gonna go to the tree, and we're gonna get this little box that has a roll of film and 2 passages from the book of Judith in them. So we give the people at the pizzeria the finger and walk out. So here we need to investigate the contents. So, like I said, we got 2 passages from the book of Judith. And then we have a roll of film, which we don't know anything about at all. So Cass works out of Photoshop. We're gonna not walk in there yet because no one's out in the street, which means it's bedtime. It's like when the streetlights come on, right? Be home when the streetlights come on. All right, so everyone is blaming rock music and violent video games on the disappearance of Judith and why people are taking on satanic rituals. This is just a dream that Adzo's having with the gang. Nothing of real importance here at all. Basically just swim and just have side conversation. Another pizza controversy. Here it is again, man. First it was pineapple pizza, now it's satanic pizza. The pizza companies can't win right now. Maybe the pineapple on the pizza is the satanic pizza. So Judith and Karen have a heart-to-heart about how Judith is going to ask Karen if they'll be friends forever, and Karen says yes, and then Judith is like, I don't think we will be. So Judith is already a Debbie Downer at this point in the dream. Judith is like, yeah, I don't know, you're kind of cool, but I don't think we'll be friends forever. I'll leave the town, never talk to you again, etc., etc. Which, I mean, she's not wrong. Like, how many friends from high school or grade school do we really talk to anymore? I can count on one hand how many people from high school I still talk to. All right, now we're in day 3. So Dad's gonna come in and give us a voucher for a cell phone. And we have to go to Nintendo Electronics to go pick it up. So the first thing we need to do now in this day is actually go to Nintendo Electronics and pick out our phone. We'll have a choice between 3 different phones. It does not matter which phone you choose. The old guy here talks about marrying a super young girl in the city because she found her on Tinder. It's actually a pretty funny conversation. This is the Game Boy kid. I need more games from the Game Boy. I'm tired of Tetris. I feel you on that, man. Alright. Then we got into Nintendo. And we're gonna go grab a phone. This is the Samsung. Comes in different colors with a vivid screen of ringtones. We're just gonna grab this one since it's the first one we saw. Redeemed our token, and we're out of here. Let's get our free taco to go. Oh, wait, I got a free taco. This guy here, I think, tries to sell drugs eventually. I can't remember when, though. I think he's trying to sell... Is he drugs right now? Or is he not the... Well, he's not the criminal. This guy's the criminal. Bootleg Game Boy games, yeah. He's selling bootleg Game Boy games right now. And then the next day he'll try and sell drugs. If bootleg Game Boy games don't work in life, you gotta take it a step further. This is how it is, I guess. Alright. So now that we have a phone, we can go to Cass. There is an ironic addiction to crime. So we gotta talk to Cass. This conversation is absolutely comical. Dennis is the owner, I believe, of the photo shop. And Dennis is discussing a night that he had doing some adult activities and bragging about it to Bryce and Cass. So we're gonna go to Cass, be like, hey, can you toss, can you develop these? But tomorrow the store is closed, and we can't wait, so we give Cass the number to our cell phone, which is why we need to get the cell phone first. Then he makes fun of the phone that we picked out. We asked Karen if she's in a cult, which she says no, she's in a therapy group, and then we just call it a cult regardless. And then she sees the notes and it looks like they're Bible verses and then tells us to go talk to the reverend in the church to figure out what they mean. Excuse me. And she talks to us about some book about Komodo dragons that we just don't care about. And then we find out that Karen Karen has a phobia of Komodo dragons, and that Adzo tells her that there are Komodo dragons all over the forests in town, and that there's a Komodo dragon festival coming to town as well too. Because Adzo's a dick. So we have the cannolis. Let's give Gretchen her cannolis, and now she can move on with her life. That her daughter and her grandson or grandkid is coming to visit her now, so she's not as lonely, and now she has cannolis, so you can't be sad with cannolis. So now I'm gonna talk to the Reverend and ask him about these Bible verses. While listening to Amazing Grace. The Book of Jude. No, the King James Bible doesn't have it, so we need to find an old school Catholic Bible with all the Old Testament in it that has the Book of Judith. And the only person that would know that information is Karen. So we go back and talk to Karen and be like, hey, what do you know about this book? Karen and Azo have a crush on each other as well too, and that's why things are awkward between them. All right, then we go back to sleep, and we go into day 4. Also, we make a slightly overestimate because I had no idea how to time this game, so it's fine. I believe this is the final day. So mom and sister and dad are home. They're all having a good old time, laughing it up. I think everything is hilarious. They're making fun of dad. We just don't care, and we're going to leave. Talk to Karen to see if she learned anything about this book. And then she tells us that Judith checked out a Catholic book a week before her disappearance. So now that we gotta go back to Judith's place. This is where the game picks up. So Cass is still developing pictures. Remember that the Photoshop is closed today right now. We're gonna go to Judith's crib, knock on the door, her parents will be home. So we'll have to listen to a few RP things from Mr. Suarez. Mr. Suarez, obviously Judith's father, then Mrs. Suarez there in front of the oven. Judith's mother. And we ask him if I can go up to her room and put this mixtape in her room. And Judith's dad's like, yeah, sure. That's what kids do nowadays. Alright. We go upstairs. Then, bam! The Holy Bible. And now we look at the passages of Judith and we notice that there are bolded letters throughout this, or probably circled in the Bible. This one says no cops, and then under Love Hotel. Now we can access Judith's PC as well. Go to our files, open Sesame. The password is pasta, so I'll write that down. That's a random note from John Milton. Then we can leave. We got everything that we needed. So now that we know that we need to go to the Love Hotel in Apricot City, if you don't know what the Love Hotel is a brothel. Right. To Apricot City we go, to the brothel, as a 13-year-old kid. Alright, back to the Game Boy kid. My favorite Game Boy games are Batman, TMNT, and the Smurfs. Dude, he likes Batgun. Batgun, best game. Yeah, I think he's selling drugs now, right? Hey, come here, kid. This is LSD. Do you want some? Yeah, he tries to get you to use LSD now. That's right. See? It's just one thing after another. So this is the Love Hotel. So Vic wants us to get a date with the sushi girl next door for him. Now we gotta hook him up. Our favorite meal is, let's see here, taco pastor with red sauce, pineapple, no onion, a Diet Cola, and Jerry Kaya as dessert. I'm probably not gonna remember that completely, but thought we had to go back to Vic and get his money. I forgot. I will not pay for Vic's tacos. I've always remembered to go back to Vic afterwards. I've never seen that line. I will not pay for Vic's tacos. Pastor. I forgot which one she wanted. We'll say Roja, pineapple, the cilantro, his date goes well with the sushi lady. See you, nerd. Alright, well now that he's gone, we can go into the brothel. If we had time, I would go upstairs and show you the various rooms that that are there, but we don't have time. All right. It is open, and now we get to play the Pokemon puzzle building game that everyone loved to do in Pokemon Red and Blue. So this one's the worst because it's all black, but Cass is going to call us on our cell phones, say that the photos are developed and that the photos are absolutely disgusting, and declares that we tell him where we found these pictures at. Basically, they're pictures of people tied up, naked, and all sorts of things. And Yep. That type of stuff is happening. Then asks us where we are. We say the Love Hotel. Then we lose signal. Now we gotta try and get to this stupid light switch here, so we can see these boxes. So in all of these side rooms, these are, we're not gonna go into them, but let's just say there are some, when it says offensive images, there is very offensive imagery in those side rooms. And it's not just blood either. So we turn on a switch, it doesn't work, but it does. Josh, we don't know who well, you all don't know who Josh is. Josh is the lead detective of the missing case of Judith. And typically in our casual playthrough, you would just talk to Josh casually, and he would always tell you to stop investigating the crime because bad things are going to happen. Not satanic. Well, so yeah, not satanic in that sense, but it's bad. So we're gonna try and run, and Josh is gonna be like, "Nah, sorry, dog." Here comes the Reverend and Mr. Suarez. Ignore the blood splatter in the bottom corner of the screen. So they grab Adzo, throw him in a chair, and tie him up. So Josh, the lead detective of the police, is now questioning us about how we figured it all out. And that the Reverend and Mr. Suarez and Judith's dad is behind Judith's disappearance as well too. Along with all the bad stuff that has been happening underneath the Love Hotel. So the Reverend says that sinners receive the love of God here, which can only mean one thing. There are 3 utensils on that table up there. Josh is gonna choose one to cure us of our sins. Remove some of your organs, break your bones and joints. Don't worry. Yep. A lot of choice words. Offensive language. That's why they gave you warnings. Well, this is the best one ever. The chainsaw. He grabs a chainsaw and threatens to cut us up with the chainsaw. He tells us that it cuts meat like a hot knife in butter. Then all of a sudden Simone pops out of nowhere. Simone is just like, "Hey, I knew there was some weird stuff going on over here." And then out of nowhere, Liz pops in with a pistol drawn, who we've only talked to once because we gave her pizza. She asked us to be questioned, and we never got to be questioned by her, but then she magically pops up and becomes the hero of the game. So there's that. The whole thing happening at the Love Hotel was a sex trafficking network with the Reverend, Mr. Suarez, and Josh, the lead detective of the police. So a week later, after everything has happened, we are, I guess, technically a hero. We get a phone call from Cass. Then to come over to the Photoshop, have a little bit of a conversation here. He's gonna say that he got a note from Judith to meet him at some place. then we go to the one place in the game that we never ever went to. A lot of button mashing if you don't want to read the stuff. I highly recommend checking out this game though. It's a very, very, very fun game. You can get this on itch.io as well too. I believe all physical copies of this game are now sold out. So I don't know if they'll do another physical release or not. So run through all this. We tell people where to come. Karen and Cass are going to be on their way. Now this is a bunch of RP stuff. But remember, this is a week later now, so we still don't know if Judith is alive or not until that note came up. Which still we don't know if it's Judith or not. When all of a sudden, at the bottom of the screen, a wild Judith appears. Judith has changed her clothes and cut her hair, and she is minus one pinky finger as well. She is basically temporarily adopted by Liz right now as well too, where Liz is taking care of her and trying to figure out what to do with Judith moving forward. Because obviously it was a traumatic event that Judith went through. And Judith basically says, I won't be here anymore. I'm never coming back to Pine Creek. It's been real, y'all. We'll maybe see each other again in the future. Just like the dream said. Alright. We fade out to where the mysterious lights were. Cass is gonna be like, it's getting late, I need to go home. Then just leaves Adzo and Karen together, and remember that Adzo and Karen have a crush on one another. So Karen's basically gonna ask Adzo on a date, and we're gonna go for milkshakes. And we need to tell her to be careful of the Komodo dragons. And that is... So that is Pine Creek for the Game Boy Color. Homebrew made by Carmelo Electronics. So, very cool game. It's a very heavy story-driven game with some miraculous writing in it. Phenomenal writing. Like I said, if you have a chance to play this game, like I said, I think you can get it on itch.io right now. You can also get the ROM from incubate.com as well too. Like I said, I believe all physical copies of this game are sold out nowadays, and this was created in Game Boy Studio. So anyway, y'all, that is going to do it for me for tonight. Sorry that went a little bit over estimate. I never actually timed this game before, so it was a guesstimate when I gave it to Ant. But yeah, I will be back on again Thursday with Crayon Shin-Chan 4 and Rebel Saber 2, aka Max, for the Game Boy, for the Game Boy block. Until then, what do we have next? Looks like we got 3-2 with Cybernator for the Super Nintendo. So again, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for chilling. I hope you guys are enjoying the marathon, and talk to you later. Peace.